Duking out there will be, as we've already seen, a very aggressive phase from endpoint as they head straight into short. leikkeet looks to intercept, unable to find any frags so far, and that will continue to be the case. There is aggression into apartments from Norway, who's looking to be the hidden element. Surreal getting a second frag, might not be expecting this, but Norway late into the party is only able to get a single song off before his dance ends up in a stumble and fall. Celta, meanwhile, back in A, will be looking to just find and isolate this duel versus Heavy God.
But this boost is quite nasty, hard to deal with.
I don't think Kenzie actually sees Sasanito, that's a problem.
No.
Yeah. Surreal as well will be the... actually peeking into it, so... Kenzie will at the very least guarantee a single kill, but it all comes down to Celta. If Celta can find one more frag, then maybe they actually go for the full rotate, full retake. But if Celta goes down without a single kill, I wouldn't be overwhelmingly surprised to see Aurora maybe just save. But look at where the bomb is. It's still in the middle, so if there is a timing for leikkeet to catch, this would be it. Wants to start moving out, and maybe even through the smoke, Celta trying to play distraction. Max moves by. leikkeet's position's been snuffed out, and Sasanito is traded. Celta going for a little bit more, and Mighty Max is low as well. Finally falling, but it's actually to his own teammate. Heavy God does end up finding the frag, but it's not the ones he wanted to. Traded out. AK recovered, and he will still sweep up, but that was looking a little bit sketchy. Odd. Well, there goes leikkeet. That's Anito. Making sure he's checking all possibilities. Yikes.
Oh, yeah, Latic also found. He was even spammed topside con, that's why I didn't feel comfortable there. But Kenzie's answered with 2 Deegs. Hold the phone. This is completely on and still contestable. Even though they don't have armor, they don't have weapons. More like it, and they would be right in the money, and Kenzie's on for even more. 3 kills with this dude thus far, and Surreal's headshot angle, he will not fall foul to it. It is costly, but...
I mean, cct.gg/hellcase, I believe, is the way you get the promo code. And if not, if you just want to take a look at the giveaway, Twitch banner down below. Well, leikkeet went flying.
Yeah, he full ragdolled, and Mighty Max jumped straight into window. leikkeet losing the duel. Thought for sure he had the heads up on that, but Max converting on the headshot, so it's a 4-on-2 before you know it. This is a full buy from Aurora, while Endpoint were treating it as somewhat of a bonus with Max still on that SMG. And now where do you even go from here? Bomb is set up ramp. Endpoint looking to try and crunch, but Max spotting the additional presence of Celta inside of window, and Max! No head armor on Celta, so that Mac 10 was lethal.
Hey. Max has been on something since yesterday. Even yesterday, we saw him actually coming into a few very important frags whenever he was anchoring a bomb. So that aggression wasn't necessarily what I associated with him the same way. But right now, looking good. In fact, the Mac 10 was more Thomas's category, if anything.
Yeah, more to his strengths.
His hands playing out from middle, and it doesn't look like there's going to be anyone actually here to contest at all. Endpoint. They're going to pop through towards the end of this Molotov. It's a strat that they like going for a few times over. Norway completely blind. Latex found one. Heavy God is down, and the second element of middle is also taken apart. Norway fragging out, and it will be Aurora's first unless Mighty Max can step up in a big way. A 1-on-3 now for him to try and bring back his objective. Will be damaged. Remember, the economy for the T side is doing swimmingly well. He himself on 11k is more than happy to lose his weapon. He just wants to take a few more with him.
Max had the rotate. Didn't commit out of the apartments, and while he's low, he last had the information that Celta pushed towards topside middle, so he's very conscious of the fact that he could be up close and personal. But Aurora have reset. They realize that Max has time on the clock and freedom to explore other options.
Going for the reset, though, they open up 3 1v1s, potentially. And Max is about to take the first of them. If Kenzie has found this would be big. No, not quite. Looked like Max was lining up for the pre-fire, but Kenzie...
From Aurora on this gun round, a double push into Palace where they will simply leave leikkeet, but They're not content with just one avenue on A. They want to move into ramp 2.
Oh, Heavy God actually gets dinked down, and Kenzie is there with a trade, so despite Heavy God being able to come out on top of that duel, they will be trading it out, and that's where leikkeet becomes all the more important, all the way back towards the B-bomb site. Needs to find these frags. Flashbang will be avoided. Good for one, Surreal will fall. And the trade is there, but Norby as well. Still here to back them up. Rotation has come through in time. Norby wants to keep it going. Now it's playing from up above the smoke. It's Mighty Max to find him and put him down.
Oh dear. Kenzie waited for leikkeet at the very least. He was the guy who pushed Palace earlier on, then there was maybe a chance, but separated and they've both got AWPs. Both holding tight angles to see how far leikkeet goes, but MHL swinging out wide. Maybe trying to link up with it in the endpoint side, especially while they're going through these roster shuffles. The 4 core members are going to be put under a bit more of a microscope, even though Sasanito is doing a great job at the moment. MHL as well stepping up in the past couple rounds. Does open up and finds a following kill as well. Kenzie mollied, and the smoke as well will give away his position. Sasanito bunkers him in, and Aurora just... they're honestly getting shut down on multiple fronts.
Feel like they're looking forward to Ancient. And at this rate, so am I. Because if Endpoint keeps playing like this, well, Ancient's going to be looking pretty new. Oh. Also,
oh my god, he's dead.
Sasanito is on 12 kills.
Yeah. An answer has to be found soon for Aurora. This is already a very convincing half from Endpoint, even if they should lose every round to follow. Wouldn't be great for the confidence, but round score would still be fine enough.
Norby not quite catching the timing of turning back to short. Has had some nice pistol kills, but not this time over. leikkeet, good for the one. So Surreal is down, but MHL quickly trades. Kenzie will not be able to get involved. MHL swings out and goes for more. Mighty Max thought he had that one on a...
Then that's their offer with a 4K on the AK.
Oh. Well.
And back to AWPing he is.
He doesn't want to have the AWP taken away from him. Just needs to remind them.
I don't know what's going on. This is so much more one-sided than it really feels like it should be.
This is literally the exact opposite of what I thought it would be, to be honest. Because I genuinely, after yesterday's Endpoint performance, I genuinely thought, okay, hold it. Okay, Heavy God does end up falling, but I thought Endpoint was just going to get completely demolished when this map comes through. Instead, they're looking fantastic. Norby flashed up, but not before he can actually find the frag. The CTs are incredibly split up, and Sasanito's luck should be able to find this kill over here as well. Sasa's looking away, and although he will rectify the crosshair, can't actually get the kill regardless, and Max is all the way to the back of the bomb site. leikkeet missed on the timing if Max was thinking of pushing through. Won't be circling back in. And
oh my god.
Yeah, it's going to be a circle over to A. Max even gets the timing on the flank, and this is everything going wrong.
Everything all at once.
And it seems like the rotation back over towards the B bomb site for the bomb might still be called short, because they have now taken the player over, and Selter will not go down. In fact, wins out the duel. Looked like he was going to be dead to right, but Heavy God a little bit off in his aim, and he will be punished as a result of it. Kenzie forced off by the Molotov. But the Molotov actually goes a little bit too deep, if I'm not wrong, so he could still be playing the close balcony position if he'd like.
Well, they are crunching the B-bomb site, so Surreal is a dead man walking, but they've gotten some territory over at A all the meanwhile. leikkeet, 1 kill, Sasanito with an instantaneous trade. One player that was trying to make a rotate back over towards A because Selter still holds position inside of Palace, but he's so low HP that he doesn't want to take a challenge.
And Mitchell has to be so careful. There's multiple angles that he can be taken down from. Deals with the first, and it is still Selter who's going to be coming in late. So Mitchell isn't quite safe in jungle. No, so that should be his responsibility as well. Norby finds Mighty Max, and now MHL's low, leaving Sasanita all alone. A 1-on-3 knows the positions of one of those players, and also has been given the information that Selter is indeed low, but he's playing it out for the late round, and with 3 players going to be covering him off, and his position now given up, this is going to be nearly impossible. The off will miss a shot, goes for the second as well. Selter forced off the defuse, and nothing will go right for a...
This guy was forced to in-game lead on Blue Jays. You see the mechanical ability, part of why that Blue Jays roster made it so far when they were that full North Macedonian squad. Oh wow, this is a total shutdown. Maybe it somehow motivated them, the fact they lost that round.
That's it. Not a total shutdown when MHL is still getting ready to boogie.
He's reading as well.
Yeah, I think he has the advantage against leikkeet over here. The only question is, does he fully clear it out? And when does leikkeet want to go ahead and take the peek? Was he spotted?
No.
No.
Just containing.
Needs to find the initial frag with just something of a pre-fire, but they're not going to be watching for him. In fact, they're watching for him to drop. MHL's got the frag up to 3. No Molotovs. And that one grenade will be all it takes, but what goes from a, wow, this is such a clean round, guys, into, oh no, we might actually lose this, gentlemen.
It all spirals very quickly. MHL was kind of unaccounted for. They got those kills. They're thinking, oh yeah, we could sit back, we could sit pretty, and by the time they realized where MHL was, he was swinging.
You guys, 1xBet did give some pretty damn good odds our partners over at endpoint. I think it was at 3 point something in the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, they had Aurora as favorite, so.
Well, you know, you might have gotten lucky.
Oh!
That's a nice shot, Mighty Max. Dude, I'm telling you, Michael, there's something that's different about the OG endpoint players. Mighty Max and Seule look like completely different players.
I feel like we saw a shot like that yesterday as well.
Yeah.
Where he got caught out and then just insta-reaction flicked somebody. And the same here. Selter tucked in at Sandwich, but Surreal hard clears it. And that was the only real presence you had inside of the site. Kenzie trapped behind smokes, but does have a little bit of a one-way that if they decide to plant frontside triple, but it's an opposite default plant. And a 5-on-3 that is chewed down to simply 4, but still at a man disadvantage. Aurora not in a great spot. This flank should seal it.
Yeah, that should be just the end of it all. And considering the Mighty Max started off the round, this is just such a complicated place for him to be coming in from as well. Good for one, and Norby's low enough that Sasanita can just clean up easily. HGIHLIGHTS doesn't even need to get involved in this game. 5 and 10, but honestly, sure, it's been a few duels lost, but largely it has just been his teammates taking up kills that maybe he could have.
But Endpoint made that first half look easy. All about whether they can actually convert quick enough. This will be a great place to start, but Aurora could also mount their comeback from winning this round as well.
Sasanito, strong start, and it's MHL to pair up right there with him. It will eventually be overrun, and it will be the B-bomb side occupied, but it's all about Mighty Max and making sure he's playing containment and making it difficult for Seltzer to actually cross over. The amount of time that they're taking to get the bomb down means that the window and market door smoke will have run out, so these 2 players coming in through short will be proving to be a little bit of distraction for Surreal to actually get involved. He is the one with the kit, let's not forget, so he has to stay alive and actually gets one for free. Norby circles around his position given up and will be fighting up against HGIHLIGHTS as well. Max is all alone now, and Max will find nothing, so Aurora get the must-win round, but they're still alone. Misses the timing. Will still be... It was spot out the fact that Kenzie is slow, but if anything, that actually ends up leading them towards the B-bomb site, which is the wrong area of the map, suffice to say. Surreal and the right area, but maybe the wrong place in it.
Well, that's nice. Sasanito and HGIHLIGHTS are getting a couple of kills on these Deegs. So while MHL was left on 1 HP, they did bring it to a man advantage for a moment. HGIHLIGHTS gets his hands on a Galil as well, so this is still very threatening.
Mighty Max as well coming in for the late flank could be a real problem if they want to go back over towards A main. And remember, Latek and Nori are low, so they're both within 2 Deagle range, even if there isn't a headshot to be hit. That's Anito leading forward. Double up back towards fireboxes. And then Max comes into play. Misses everything, and everything is indeed a little bit too much. Heavy God trying to swing out as well. Finds a player back in CT. It's Selter to defend, but there's no time, no kit. Max has got no HP either. And now that he finally actually gets onto the bomb, Selter can just make quick work. Brings it all.
Endpoint now just on a couple of upgraded pistols, but no armor to surround it.
Well, okay, this should just be the easy one, right?
Kind of a surprising kill for Surreal. You caught a guy jumping around, but you have a quick flank, so more damage can be done.
Too many players alive for Aurora. I don't imagine we're going to see much else. No one retreating in back through main, so that Zeus will be left unused. I feel like I should really stop speaking about how much damage will be done on these eco rounds.
Yeah, I said there was a.
They have not caught a sniff of endpoint players so far. This A-side collapse is incredibly threatening, especially when you consider you've used most of your utility by now. And MHL will have no smokes. They'll bring him off. First kill is good, but Latte gets a trade. Beautiful shot. Selta follows up as well. It's all down to Surreal, and Surreal is down for the count. Wow. Latte just dominates them. Honestly, that looked like endpoint was set up for a very comfortable defense otherwise.
Yeah, no, I agree. You know, they had one flash left in the Aurora tank for that burst. And the timing for MHL was actually great to take that fight, but because he went the front side of triple, he kind of exposed himself very much so to ramp in an effort to sort of peel back towards CT. And because of that, Latic punished, hit the instant headshot. I mean, great stuff. Those are important trade kills for the Aurora side. They were prepared to split that bomb site. They had everybody in the right positions, but they were almost thrown for a longer trip than they signed up for. Good news for them as well is that because they have so many chances to close out this game, they also have a lot of time to sort of feel out how Aurora are playing it. That's not to say this round is completely uncontestable. Kenzie got inside of Connector, and the Deke finds him. Max's rifle also found an opening kill at to kickstart this round. MHL with that recovered AK is already applying a lot of pressure. The smokes that are down won't be enough to provide full coverage, but now one towards the top side of Connector. Nori will try and take that space, and that will be a great post plant to hold.
Heavy Gold has just been safely nestled away. He will not be revealing his position even now. Mighty Max will be the one to actually lead the charge and going for the jump spot. Heavy God, when he starts to take the peek out from the deagle, that's where you were hoping the element of surprise can start to come into play as well. But unfortunately, now it might be too little too late. Now it's all just about getting the numbers together, and Nori is going to be looking to pin them down. Sasanito's position given up. He's a freebie. Nori goes for the second, connects as well. Max, an impossible round for him to bring back another one of these situations where he's got nothing to do but try and go for a fight that seems unwinnable. Latic's elbow barely shows. MHL, that's barely a gap, man. That seems like a fake gap. If anything. Obviously, to anyone wondering, as Heavy God will fall, the instant smokes all have one or two spots where there's like a tiny gap like that, so that's just a byproduct of the instant smoke. It's not like he mollied it or something.
You gotta use that stylish running to the left one from the bin. You want full coverage?
Oh, what a shot. Kenzie just dominates Mighty Max. Sassanito will respond, sure, but an advantage still maintained for Aurora. And with Surreal looking to push forward in through A main, they will very soon find out that the B-bomb site is a destination, but not one where they can do much about it. Two smokes means that MHL will almost certainly find his way to watch apartments blocked off. And Salsanito is nowhere nearby to actually help him out either, so Can't see this being an easy one. Smoke down to try and defend from the side. If there's anyone looking to wrap around, good for the first. Gives Sasanito some time to make his way over as well. And as he starts to rotate all the way back, it should be a second freebie, but they turn into him. MHL won't be giving him for free, but he doesn't need him. He's happy to pay, and pay he does with his aim. Sasanito trying to come through and finish off leikkeet. What a shot, the no-scope through the wall, but style will not help you, MHL. Now that money that's been whittled down because of all of those endpoint rounds where they get a few extra frags, that comes into play. Aurora, a Galil, Mach 10, and a Tech 9 utility. Nothing to boast about. And MHL is someone to boast about. He's gone and got two yet again, looking for more. Multi-kills on multi-kills. Finally brought down by Norway's Galil. leikkeet adds another to the tally, but Surreal and Heavy God still on this bomb site. leikkeet. Oh, the Surreal's dead. Heavy God and Sasanito still on this bomb site. Heavy God struggled a little bit so far with his patient plays for the late round, and now will need to activate sooner rather than later. Norway's going for the full flank. Mighty Max is aware of the possibility, but not for too long. He's more concerned about the possibility of them going back to B as well. Deep Molotov forced out Kenzie. Still not the bomb. Let's not forget. They could be anywhere at this stage as far as endpoint is concerned.
That's why they're peeling back towards CT spawn, trying to play it safe. Heavy God was pinned at triple for the longest time, but once he got set up for that frag, they take the extra grace. They don't look at the gift horse in the mouth. But Max does have at least a quick flank towards the connector. They're running low on time here as well on the Aurora side. They need to force this duel towards CT. And Sasanito is baiting to allow Heavy God to maybe even spring that trap. But Max is trying to play it cool, trying to play it patient. We'll find Nori in the back. Was already low, so it has to be a leikkeet 1 versus 3. And Sasanito floors him. That is an excellent hold. I mean, MHL finding those first 2 kills, impeccable. But even when Aurora pumped the brakes and slowed things down, endpoint maintains are great, and they want to force this duel with him. He's trapped between these smokes. They must know he's pincered in to some extent, but Selter also doesn't get spammed it as a counter. Sasanito committing to the reload, and Selter will catch him. Heavy God quick flank, though, and this could be their undoing.
There is a smoke down, actually, which makes it a lot more complicated. Heavy God's got 1 for free. Make it 2. Drops the bomb as well, and this should be it. MHL losing out of the duel, finally pinned in again, and it's leikkeet to switch out for the AWP. A 2-on-3, but with the op scope visible, Max might as well just wallbang him. HP's not there at all, and Kenzie doesn't have the bomb, so endpoint knocking on the door of the final finish of Mirage. Kenzie might not be done yet, though. Well, yes, no, never mind.
Yeah, he is very done. As this whole game is, endpoint in control for all of Mirage. It was their selection.
Respectively, both of whom have been quite enjoying this map, actually.
Yeah.
Interesting enough.
See whether it matters. Endpoint have looked good, but that flash is perfect. Oh my,
what?
How on earth did he get 1 kill before he died? Barely recovering from that flashbang.
MHL goes ahead and finds another frag, and they are going to be doubling right back up over. leikkeet has been fantastic this series, and the T-signs especially, but so is MHL. Between him and Surreal, they're able to bring it all together. Mighty Max to be the one to put the cherry on top.
Aurora as the favorites. I think that's... I want to say that's for the map. Given that we've had series before, and that's where a little confusion has sparked, but maybe they see something that we don't. Deagle coming out for Kenzie, but he's the only one that has an upgraded pistol, but he's allowed his teammates to upgrade into a rifle because of that kill.
Selter. Oh. Like, as long as they can keep all their players alive, they should still be fine, relatively, right? And unfortunately, that's just been disabled immediately. M4 will not find anything on the T side after being recovered, but even the amount of damage that they've gotten with the limited investment, this is fantastic for Aurora. And to add to your point about the odds, I actually think that the widget might have been the wrong way around over there, because the logos were not matching the names. So Aurora is still in a disadvantage. It is still the series. Or if you want to be nerdy like me, you can type it in as well. cct.gg/hellcase. very fast out, and this is going to have to be a smoke to come through, but in fact they just go full aggressive, no flashes, nothing at all. They're trying to pincer MHL, and Heavy God will find the frag, and at the end of it all comes down to one. It's Kenzie with barely any HP. The USB is what ends up taking him down. The bomb's been lost, and so has really Heavy God's head as he pushes out to meet Lackey. Falls. I don't think he actually saw the bomb because it was inside the smoke. Yikes.
Yeah, I kind of hate everything about that play. But they were so unrelenting in their aggression through B. You know, to him, I mean, that makes a whole lot of sense that because there was no trade, nobody tried to spam through the door smoke, no one tried to even run straight through to help his teammate that was getting crunched, that there had to be something about this area of the map that was free, but it does put them into an awkward now 2v2 where sure some utility is being used, but endpoint aren't going to have real confirmation about what's going on. They're gambling on the idea that Aurora will route themselves over towards the A site instead, but as the smokes bloom, they realize that they're in the wrong place to address the issue.
It is still wild to me that this is going to end up in a retake after how it started. They can't feel comfortable spamming or anything like it either, otherwise Lackey could have ended up being a casualty. He turns away, still will look back in. Mighty Max going by the wayside, MHL to trade. HP is low. Remember, he was the one involved in the initial few duels, and Celta is happy to put him down. 2 for 2.
Those are the types of mistakes that you effectively cannot be making against them on their best map, or yeah, even anyone. Zeus delivery system, Mighty Max. I was hoping to put it to good use, but how it can be used against them.
I remember that there was one point where the Zeus wasn't allowed in competitive play.
Yeah, I can't remember. I think it was, what was it, like $100? The shots they are being given. But I've really enjoyed watching some of these, you know, the early development of these rounds turn into some solid sort of mid-rounding for the Aurora side thus far. Even though Heavy God found a first kill, he was traded at the very least. And Surreal not that aware of a player so progressed in Cave.
Max is the only player who might be giving up a couple of deals of a hair, and good for the first, looks for 2, no, not quite there. Kenzie will respond, and even that saved A1S that was trying to be cute by spraying through the smoke will instead be cute on the ground instead.
And one person in each, which can, you know, work to your disadvantage at times, but given the angles that Endpoint were playing in, it's just too difficult for them to actually get multi-kills from any of the spots.
This is where all of the troubles have laid so far. A side's not really been a major point of attack to the same extent. And that's why MSL starts off on B as well. Heavy got already tagged down to almost nothing, and Mighty Max is on up.
Well, being down that extra man is obviously not ideal, but still maintain some control over middle, and that will be important for Endpoint moving forward. Problem is, the longer this round plays out, the more it is likely that Endpoint are going to give up that territory of the map. So often used as a rotationary point for T's, that you can simply get overwhelmed by the numbers that are held. Or you're just too far away from the site to really stop anything. You know, it's kind of, it's a difficult area to gauge whether you should possess it or not in late rounds. How quickly MHL loses control of the situation just because of that one smoke. The nade is decent, but Sassanito is now on an island.
An island with flashbangs and fire. That's a difficult island to be on. B-bomb site is still where they're actually headed over towards, so unfortunately for Sassanito, his best bet would have been if he was on an island, and with his teammates coming over to help out. Yeah, this might be a little bit more difficult. The B-bomb site will be given up. He is trying to accelerate, and because the bomb was in the hands of the AWP, it can't actually scope in to try and suss him out. leikkeet yet to actually forfeit that over, and this gap in the offense, this gap in progression of the bomb site will be a real problem. Kenzie as well has just been stuck waiting for Sassanito to come around the corner. Will finally get the frag, but while that goes on, the bomb is being planted and being delivered a fair bit of damage onto leikkeet as well as they try to do so. The AWP, remember, still will be peeking out, misses its shot, and with Kenzie as low as he is, this looks like an impossible round, even if he does get a lot of damage out onto the remaining two endpoint players.
Oh, they were both so low. One more bullet each and he would have had them. Even if they lined up, it probably would have been...
Aurora has been so heavily focused on this B-bomb site. Surreal. Going to be called to action very soon. leikkeet peeks out, ends up falling. Sorrell's locked into position, but he fights back, and now MHL's there as well for cover. Beautiful duo pairing. Playing off of each other so nicely.
Oh my god, wow. That's all surreal. I mean, that is just all surreal. Those two kills, he was alone for, and then that third one from MHL is really what seals it. But then, because he's low HP, decides to push the limits, and leikkeet now completely boxed in. They want to try and eliminate this AWP from play, but he's actually making it quite expensive. They're giving him respect now. No one's hunting this much further. MHL had him pinned in with the AWP, and that was as much as they were.
Pins by just a little bit, or at least yeah, there's all up now. Yeah, fair. That's what I thought.
Oh yeah, it's just as I deduced. As I'm sure that's what Mighty Max is saying. It was elementary, Watson. I just spam through the smoke, and
honestly, the worst part
is gone.
It is elementary maths, and I generally suck at it.
And Detective Max is still on the case. Fresh Molotov to scare off the Aurora attack. They are more heavily grouped up that side of the map, as they have hammered the B-bomb site a number of times, but given that they have limited utility, they want to try and make use of it, and Kenzie's caught on bad timing. He was so concerned about being shot from up high, he forgot about the mid-floor.
Oh Max even just jumps and low-fives that smoke in there as well. Gives himself something to work with. That confirms the fact that you can do it after the single bounce, I suppose. MHL waiting for the peek, misses. That's a rare miss to come forward. A second smoke as well. Sassanito trying to prevent anyone from crossing over inside it. MHL are just holding on to tempo, and Celta will take him down, only to lose the bomb planter in the background. Aurora are falling apart one by one.
Mighty Max, I think, is the genius of this round. Celta, one more kill, but Max in with 4 himself. Actually kind of revealed him through the smoke. That's why Max was so on point for the spam. That's an old trick, one that probably won't exist in our move to Counter-Strike 2. But
wow,
neither will endpoint, apparently. A double kill with the tech.
Not what you want to see coming out of the awkward chokehold as well. He just mows them down, the bulldozer. Recoverable rifles makes it even worse, so suddenly this 3 versus 3 is looking all the more even.
They just slow things down. Again, by pumping the brakes, you often leave the CTs guessing. That's what Endpoint will be doing, but they have gone for some information gathering on Surreal. This is a very committed spot, so if they do decide to go through the B ramp, it could be lined up for a trade, or Surreal could catch them off guard. But if they go in and simply try and dial in those digits, Surreal will have the fastest flank humanly possible.
Also keep in mind that MHL can set up for some sort of a bait setup too at this stage, and they should know that Surreal is around on the bomb site. Remember, he's the one who generally plays this area of the map. Heavy God finds Norby, and now the jig should be up. Surreal knows exactly what's going on. Fastest flank known to humanity and also known to Aurora. Surreal? Oh, that grenade would have been quite nice to see. Instead, he does want to just keep the AK in his hands, and I don't blame him for it too much. Ooh, MHL, did he just find the kill as the smoke was fading?
I think so. Mackey's been doing a lot of solo work in middle, but MHL is everywhere. From mid straight over to B, and he finds both kills necessary.
Float like a butterfly indeed, man. Deep flashbang. Surreal follows up with the smoke as well. They've got nowhere to go. This is where Selter and Latik can maybe try and trace back, but Sassanito is there to cut them off as well, and it's all falling apart. And this is one of the things, Michael, that I really do appreciate about how MHL has come through and found, you know, 1 billion kills all across the map as well. Let's not forget. Laki's hoping that he can maybe find a bit more than he did last time. MHL watches out. No, we can't get away to safety this time. Flashbang is late to the party, and Mighty Max is here as well. The streamers are out, the balloons are popping, and Aurora are about to find out it's not their birthday, it's someone else's, and they've been trying to blow out these candles.
Oh, yeah, God. I mean, Sassanito sussed out, but, I mean, they just don't have the numbers, they don't have space, they have nothing to really write home about. Aside from maybe this weapon that Kenzie's looking to recover. But after those 5 rounds straight, they've been suddenly humbled. This might be one of Endpoint's worst.
Well, that's not how you wanted things to start. Surreal's been looking very good so far, and has been a slippery eel to actually locate back inside Cheetah. Selter might have slipped past Mighty Max here as well. The only question is who's actually going to push forward initially, because if Max goes through and gets his flank, that should mean the jig is up, but rotations are now coming back. Max is going forward. Will he check behind him? No, they've now gone by each other. Ships in the night, but that could even end up working more effectively as the bomb starts to rotate over. Max will hear it. We will be able to drop it as well. There's a knife out for Norway. Max, you better pull that trigger, and finally gets it done, but he won't know there's already a player there. Selter was waiting and will be able to start to score that bomb back. But look at the damage bot. MHL positioned much more effectively. This donut smoke's going to be running out very soon as well. It's all down to Sassanito. If he can suss out these two players who are moving forward, that could be the end of it all. And now he needs to. MHL is down. Sassanito only expected the one, but he's able to fade away. Is there more to be done from him yet? The grenade makes me feel like that's a resounding no. And indeed, it's just Heavy God left alive. 25 seconds on the clock. So there is still some urgency for Aurora. They still do need to get the bomb planted soon. So Heavy God maybe still thinking about going for this, considering their money situation isn't terrible.
Oh, came out pre-firing, was hoping to hit that shot, but... And just not putting it together, you know, not putting together the fact that this guy's running with his knife out to an area of the map that was taken over by CTs. You had to suspect something.
Well, Heavy God, that's just looking like the perfect spray down. Surreal's there to give him a little bit of cheerleading pom-poms as well, but they still end up at a 2v2, support or not. Sassanito and Mighty Max, generally the latecomers of the B-bomb site at the best of times, but Mighty Max has come through very quickly. The bomb is still down, let's not forget, and so is Selter, who had recovered it. Latik now with an AWP and a 1v2, being spammed from the back as well, and the swipe out from Sassanito will give Endpoint the 9th.
I was not expecting that pace to change so rapidly from the Aurora side, but... They only got 6 rounds on their defense, but now 3 better against Aurora, who have made it a mainstay.
If Kenzie peeks out over here, there's like 5 million people around the corner, and none of them will actually be taken down by him. Sassanito, good for 1. Surreal makes it a double. Endpoint's looking to accelerate onto this B-bomb site, and the CTs are nowhere to be found. The bomb will be planted before they can even come into relevance. Remember, they don't have a kid, if I'm not wrong. Latik finds 1. That's Sassanito down. Latik, however, on the flank will be sussed out, and there's 2 to deal with. Both M's. And I'm not just talking about Mighty and Max, it's MHL as well on his side as he reminds us with Selter's demise. He's Lackey all alone, a 1-on-3. And I'm sorry to break it to you, I don't think he has a chance.
They would if MHL was actually prepared for that fight. You know, he was hoping quite exceptional for stand-ins. You know, the expectations are set quite low often because, you know, new system, first time playing with the players. You know, maybe he had some scrim time.
Oh, well, that's hardly ideal. 4 players running them down, though, and Mighty Max smells blood and money. Unfortunately for him, he just weakens them. First part is they've got no one to get information about the fact that there isn't anyone in A main anymore outside of Sassanito. Kenzie will maybe be taking a gander now that there's a Molotov in front of him, but this actually ends up fully burning him down. He doesn't want to peek out. He can't back off either. Back to A they go.
Oh, they are leaning. Someone has to pick up Red Room, where Heavy God still sits, but Selter making his presence known in towards Donut. So he'll be completely isolated, sectioned off, especially with leikkeet vacating his position in at Temple. But Heavy God, wow! The first an instant dink there from leikkeet, but Heavy God overwhelms him, and that's a rifle that's dropped. Not one that Heavy God will move to recover, but they've got space on the site, and they have Selter boxed and pinned down. It's a 4-on-2 for this retake.
They have to say, there's just no way you can actually do anything here. Is this the same endpoint as what we saw yesterday? I feel like I'm living.
Losses can help you figure out what you need to fix quite quickly, and endpoint looked like they've done a lot of that. I mean, I'm surprised at how one-sided this game has been, but Aurora still may have some fight left in them. Haven't won a round thus far in the second half, but are doing decent damage here in the 4th round out, because it's trades on trades, and will be enough for them to even have safety over the B bomb site. Thing is, Max is hunted down, and Selter has a flank on Heavy God. It is just back and forth. Each one of the Aurora players good for the 1 kill that they've been able to get. The only one that's been missing out is leikkeet, but Selter now found. The bomb dropped outside of B main, and they know about that for a certainty. So leikkeet's leaning and could catch Sassanito on the rotate, but he's slightly late. Don't know if Sassanito will expect that he's in from cave. They'll be flanked in a moment's notice, but leikkeet doesn't pursue.
And with the amount of time that's actually left, Sassanito might end up looking back to the same position. I thought for a second that the fact that he looked inside cave would mean that he doesn't try and return to it, but now surely you want to check out the angle, and leikkeet's not even holding for it to be too deep. leikkeet, timing has been found, but Sassanito's the one with the kill. Yeah.
Yeah,
I predicted a 2-0.
Yeah, I thought so as I mean, not to bash on them too hard, but, you know, using stand-ins consistently didn't exactly have the highest of hopes, but they've made Aurora look like chumps on Mirage, and, well, Ancient is certainly their map pick. They can certainly do more damage. Wow, great shot there from Latic, sorry. Goes for 4-on-2 and a nice double swing. This is looking like the first round, finally, for Aurora on their CT side.
Only question is how expensive can seule actually make it, though? Because at this point, remember, T-side did have their economy messed with pretty heavily. Doesn't want to use his Molotov just yet. We'll find one, so that's something at the very least. But yeah, the T-side economy is...
Each other up. Latic is completely stuck inside of Donut, but that smoke will provide him some safety. The thing is, timing looks good here for Heavy God.
There's a second player around the corner, though. Sassanito might have found the first. Sassanito's actually going forward for more. Norway will be checking this out, though, as Sassanito gets closer to the corner. Norway's got the distance on the smoke, which gives him the advantage. Kenzie can't back off, but he doesn't need to. He's got all the aim for days, Kenzie. Surreal needs to get a kill with this. No. He had a bit of extra money, so investing isn't the worst thing in the world, but also they're in a slightly unstable position right now, right? So you're always sort of left wondering.
I actually don't know that I follow, but...
Well, this is something that, for me, I've always believed that teams don't explore to the same extent. The idea that later on with bomb plants, you can actually get an extra buyout if one of your players doesn't invest into the deagle to, like, even out economy. On T side, I think that's actually a really big problem.
True.
When you're like in the lead and whatnot. I know you can do a lot more damage, but just one player going for it always just seems like such a, you know, well, okay. Unless it's just, you know, like niko or someone like that. They come in.
Yeah. You're thinking of them as savings accounts. Every wasted bit of weaponry or utility is, well, wasted, right? But
yeah. Out new things with the late round rotation back towards A could end up being a big favor to them.
oh, awful timing. MHL was trying to find the box, but Max is at least there to trade. Molly down, so Nori will not pursue just yet, but Max jumping around. I mean, Nori will take that every day of the week. Man advantage now held for Aurora.
And the rotation's going to be accurate as well. Right back over to the B-bomb side they go. Aurora are set up for success, and Kenzie has to be one of the hands to deliver it. Molotov timing is fantastic in the cave as well. Selter's only just worried about a lurking player to come through, but honestly, Endpoint just lost out any hope of trying to do that at all. Heavy God is now down. Surreal will be moving fast. He needs to find these frags, but just can't connect. Even on the low player, now he's all alone. 18 seconds, moves through the Molotov, gives away his position, and Kenzie's there on the trade. Endpoint. Just look at the comparison into how they're playing against gun rounds, where they're so hyperactive in rotations as well.
Yeah, it feels like they're starting to build some confidence about themselves.
Oh my, why wouldn't they be? Max is already low, courtesy of leikkeet.
Nate is excellent as well.
Nothing going the endpoint way right now. Nori dodges out from the utility, walks into Surreal. Surreal will be able to make quick work of him, and as the block back comes out for Kenzie, that's actually no, back towards B-bomb side. Heavy will be able to trade onto Kenzie, who felt like he had to push through because his teammates were smoked off. leikkeet blind as soon as the smoke in front of him dissipates, and the retake utility is on. Heavy God spots out leikkeet, takes him down immediately, trying to reposition. It'll be the AWP in the background. Latek is brought down low, and Heavy God happy to continue spraying through. It's Selta to actually find a frag on the retake. I can't believe he's actually going for this. They do have money, yes, and the T-side economy could be spread thin, but remember, they did get some bomb plants earlier on as well. Selta going down. Will find a kill on the back of it. They're trying to head over towards this A-bomb side, and there is no second prong that they have to worry about. Rotations have looked too easy for Aurora, but now they are the ones who want to take the fight to Sasanito, and as they move in, it's leikkeet with the instant headshots. Sasanito just not prepared. And they go back to B, right back over. They're not going to have the rotations in time there regardless. Selter will be blocked off by the smoke. A deep grenade will find pretty much nothing as well, so the bomb can be planted, but retake utility aplenty for the CTs.
I'm going to be convinced that it has to be Temple that's occupied, and it will be very shortly. Latek's up making its way through, but this is a 5-on-4 retake where there's a couple of smokes available here for Aurora, so this isn't the most dire of circumstances. They can actually section off the site and make these post plants hard to handle.
They will be so late to the party. By the time they even start to get involved, half of the bomb cycle will have ticked away. Where are those smokes going to end up going? They're not even using those smokes. They're just walking in, and MHL's missed a crucial shot. Will land the second, and as he's going to be able to keep them at bay, Mighty Max comes into play. Latek as well found, and Max on the back of the bomb site will just be trying to duel in. Perfectly played, and MHL gets involved. Heavy God still alive. The bomb plotted for him. Can he find the frag? Needs to keep this break going. No, Nori will pull it all together, and it looked like Endpoint would... Or he's going to maintain the forward-facing angle. If he falls here, you're going to see that very fast rotate to be, or the fights in mid. Kenzie gets the better of them. It feels like Endpoint never win that fight. And as they start going back over towards the B-bomb site, Norway's ready as well. Savior of the previous round, this one as well. He's going to be doing some serious damage, making things a lot easier. Sasanito, though, this time finally can activate in from middle. There is still Selter to deal with as they start to go back over to the A-bomb site. That's still only one player. Will they be aware of the fact that he is still here? There was a smoke in the way. They should have an idea. Double swings to come through as well. And as they start to move forward, they have navigated around it. Selta set up perfectly. Got them both down. And Sasanito has it all to do and nothing to do it with. No time. And no friends. And although he will get the bomb plant down, guarantees some money for himself, it is still a full 1v3 that he has to contend with. Selter peeks out, could have been his freebie, but no. This loses that first 50-50.
I mean, that's really well done there from Selter. As soon as they realize that the Assassinito is up close, I think Selter's the one that drops that smoke frontside donut and just simply tries to play around it, and they don't have to...
Not there yet, though.
Oh, wow!
That grenade goes right into Norby's feet, and now the bomb plant can come through from behind it as well. Keep an eye out on Kenzie. He's been the big man.
Oh, this is over.
He's just going to be peeked into, but he gets it first. And Mitchell is down Assassinito, and the meanwhile might be good for Selter, but they still got time to adjust for him. The arm shot misses. Surreal's taking the chance. And Kenzie in the back lines can no longer do anything. This might very well be over, Michael. You're right. Lackey with the MP9, not the range to do it with. 16-13, Endpoint will persevere. They will continue through despite all struggles and despite all odds.
Yeah, I mean, they were playing lights out. From the first map, the Mirage display that we got against Aurora was certainly something that...